All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the press coming to you live from the Abuja studios of KAFTAN Television. And now we've been joined by a guest. His name is Habib Gajo, and together we shall be taking a look at some of the headlines I read out to you earlier. Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mr. Gajo.
Thank you.
It's lovely to have you in the studio.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get into the business of the day. I think we should just begin with the issues of Adamawa Rec. This headline from The Punch this morning says, controversial Adamawa Rec detained, and he insists that Binani won the polls. That's what the details that we have this morning coming from The Punch. What are your thoughts on this particular situation? Because a part of this says that he is also insisting that Bin Aisha Dahiru, popularly known as Binani, was or is the winner of the 2023 governorship elections in Adamawa State. So what are your thoughts? Because he is insisting, and he announced earlier, but for some reasons the results were changed. So what do you say to this?
First of all, police need to investigate him, because INEC has already wrote to the police to arrest him, and he went hidden. He was on hiding for like how many weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks, until the police got him and arrested him. And he was telling BBC Hausa that he believed that Binani won according to his own assumption, because it's an assumption. You understand? So the challenge is, he now, before he don't have the figure. Now that he went to underground, he now concocted figures, and he's now talking that this is the figures that he declared Binani. But the issue is, or the matter, or the case is, having violated the law, the Electoral Act, the Constitution, he is not in the position or in a capacity to declare anybody winner in any election. No rec that the law allows to declare election result. It is the powers reside on returning officer. A returning officer will collate the result and declare the result. And before the collation, the returning officer declare result, he will have read the Constitution and the Electoral Act that gave him power to announce the result. He will say Party A won 2, Party B won 3, Party B 5, and so, and you understand?
Very well.
And he would declare invalid vote and everything before he now said, the power vested on me by the Constitution and the Electoral Acts, I return, declared so person winner of the election. The only thing the REC will have is the from EC1, and they will give him a copy for record purpose. That's the only responsibility reside on REC.
All right.
So for him to come and start telling us that he believes and that if you collect a bribe, God will not forgive him, or he will not. These lecturers, sometimes I don't know from where they are coming from. You know, I don't know. And why now?
All right. The question why now is I think it's literally on everybody's lips, because I think it wasn't that they went and nabbed him. He surrendered himself. He came to the police station himself. And now at this point, he stated during his interview that he has no regrets, and he stated categorically, and he's still insisting that Binani won the poll. Do you think there's more that needs to be investigated than just the one that meets the eye?
You need to be investigated. You understand? Because the police, election monitoring, are investigating him.
Sorry to cut you. He also stated that he had explained himself in a written document to INEC, but it was rejected. So shouldn't he also be heard out? You know, shouldn't he speak? Shouldn't they hear his part of the story? At least let's get the document that he shared with INEC that INEC rejected.
When INEC wrote to him first, he rejected. Because there was a petition against him. And if there is a petition against a REC or any officer, what the chairman of the INEC is to call the attention of the REC that there is so petition and so allegation against you. The commission will investigate if it is baseless, because politicians always write petition. You understand?
Yeah.
So when INEC saw where he is going, they now wanted to call him to Abuja to come and he refused and did what he wanted to do. So the ball lies in his court to defend himself before the police and the court. They should charge him to court. And for him to say that he brought himself, he is lying. Why is he hiding? If he said,
what we watch in movies, you say you want to gather evidence first before you come out.
Police arrested him because from the police statement is that they have arrested him, and they have arrested him because he spoke with BBC Hausa, and they now got his location. Maybe they now got his location and arrested him. So, and there is allegation of bribery. There is allegation of money exchange hands. You understand? And if you look at Olamide, let me tell you, the problem is the returning officer that they lost in power to collect result, who was at the need of collecting result, and the REC went and declared Binani as a winner without figure. You understand?
Well.
And disappear in thin air. If it is true that Binani won the election, or he has the powers to declare, or he wants to clear his own conscience, why is he running? You run today, but you can not run forever. You understand? One day they will get you.
Absolutely.
You just made mention of the fact that money exchange hands in that particular elections. But we can't only hold the REC accountable. There are lots of people that should be held accountable. And from what he said, that he didn't collect any bribes. So, like they say, you are innocent until proven guilty. So
that is why police are investigating. And that is why, if you notice, since the beginning of the election, from presidential to state assemblies and governors, the president has never intervened in anything. But in this matter, when there is allegation of money exchange hand, the president now gave order to arrest him, because the REC, Professor Yari was saying that he and the national chairman or any other superior officer in INEC, they were appointed by the president and confirmed by the National Assembly. So they have the same status. That's what he is claiming. And that raised a red flag to INEC, because they sent two national commissioners, and he challenged them that we are appointed the same thing by the president and confirmed by the National Assembly. You understand?
Very well.
That is a red flag that this man is acting on something else. You understand?
Very well.
So, and that is why the president-elect, Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, also said they should investigate the matter so that his party will be cleared on this bribery and the money alleged was given for the declaration of Binani. And for Binani to accept Ari's declaration as a winner and went to court, she went to High Court.
Yes.
And the court struck out the case. So Ari will face the law. He's in the police net. They will investigate it. Trust Nigerian police. They will come out with something.
All right. There's also this headline on the papers that petition begins on Monday, whereas there are also preparation on the way to swear in the next administration. What's your take on this? Do you think that there may be some shake-ups somewhere? Because PDP is insisting that Atiku will come out victorious. So do you think that there will be some tables shaking here and there?
All right, before you take that, we'll have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my sister.
Good morning to you. How are you doing this morning?
Yeah, it's I'm calling from Abuja.
Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Yes. So much interested. I appreciate you people so much. Your analysis and your guest doing right justice to the whole questions.
Thank you.
You know, the truth of the matter is that I'm looking at this angle aspect of it. The INEC appointment, I'm just looking at it that it should be restricted, taken out from the hands of the president. That is the first thing. If that aspect can be handled, from other people outside, let me just say from the civil societies or thereabouts, other organizations, to be able to appoint who will not know kind of about the affairs of our electoral out in Nigeria. I think that will go a long way. But looking at the aspect of his bribing aspect of issues, I quite believe strongly that yes, that man acted something behind him. It was sense when it was quite dramatic. I look at taking general elections. So when we come out for the presidential election and everybody was kind of being grieved, bittered over the whole things, coming down again to this kind of supplementary elections in Adamawa and looking at what's going on, it showed that something is going on within INEC. All is not well within INEC. So I'm looking at it as the mode of appointment to the position of INEC is seriously something that would need to be looked into. That is just what I'm just trying to tell you. He made that comment that is not accountable to anybody than to the person that appointed him. Some of these people are political appointed. They belong to some political, party. Some of those INEC chairmen and thereabouts. Some political party. So if we can really look into that aspect, let 3, 4, 5 people submitting their CV, and then they begin to go through a lot of screenings and thereabouts. At the end of the day, we get somebody who can be able to sanitize the system for us. People, Nigeria is messing up. The national, the one is not looking at us as saying that, we're not serious. Are we really heading towards the American system of government that we are copying? Are we really emulating them where? Are we really copying them where? Something is going on. Something is going wrong. And I'm quietly seriously, I'm not quite impressed with what is on ground. So my take of this morning is that please let the appointment of INEC reps or chairman should be restricted from the hands of the president. Let Nigeria look into that aspect now. If not, we're heading towards another serious crisis in our electoral.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. This is about calling from Sokoto.
Thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Let me just make one or two comments.
Okay.
I want to first of all appreciate the guest you brought in speaking from a clear perspective of matter. Let me just quickly make some comments. The comment I want to make is that this country, Nigeria, we need to be very careful. The way we are being protected in the international world, like the person who called a minute ago said, we are not serious. We are not serious. Nigeria has not started on a new thread to go to the higher ground. How can you say INEC is independent National Electoral Commission and the appointment is based on presidential something? Something is wrong with it. We don't understand English in this country. How can you say something is independent and yet it's accountable to somebody? No, let's talk about this thing now. We are not serious in this country. We don't understand English in this Nigeria. How did INEC chairman come to that place? Is it not appointment by president? Can you give me a court martial and I work against you? No way. We are not serious in this country. God will help us.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution.
English is not our father language.
All right, okay, let's take a look at some of the comments that our callers.
I think you should comment on Joe's first before you take my question.
Okay, you see from where the angle of Nigerians are coming from, with anger. You understand?
Very well.
The appointment of the INEC chairman and the commissioners of the commission is not supposed to lie on the president, though he is a commander-in-chief. You understand?
Very well.
He appoints, for example, in judiciary, is by ranking. You understand?
Yes.
And the NGC will now nominate and send to the president, and the president will send to the National Assembly. Also, the CBN governor is sometimes it's like that, but nowadays it's no longer the same. Now, let me give you an example. When you remember Mike Igini, Barrister Mike Igini from, I think he was a wreck in Cross River. It is Cross River.
Yes, it's Cross River.
It's Cross River. That man was a lawyer and he was activist, and he dedicated his activities to INEC. He antagonized INEC Jiga time for so many flawed laws. At the end of the day, Mike Igini was given an opportunity to serve as rec in like 2 states, and he did very well. And he finished. And up till today, there is no one single allegation against Mike Igini. So we can pick from outside. Even Jega is from outside. When Umaru Musa Radua accepted that his election was flawed and he promised to reform the electoral system, he appointed Justice Weiss, the former CGN, to head it, and Jega is part of Festus Okoye, and so many of them are part of that. But unfortunately, they did not finish their committee work to send their report to President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua before he died, and they handed over to Jonathan, and Jonathan said, okay, now among you, give me who will be the chairman of the commission, since there is a reform, so that somebody can implement the reform. They now choose Jega. They wanted ways to do. Ways said, no, I'm old. I served almost 60 years in the office, and I'm a retired chief justice of the federation, so I need to retire finally. So they now appointed somebody who is capable, Professor Jega. They nominated him, they gave to President Goodluck Jonathan, and Jonathan appointed him. You understand?
Yeah.
So through that transformation, we now got card reader. Now we have Vivas and so many things. It's all about it. So, but when Buhari came, Jega served, when the tenure of Jega, first tenure ended, they wanted to reappoint him because he's a man of honor. He said, no, I did my best. Let somebody come and do his best. They now brought Professor Mahmoud from nowhere, and he came and destabilized the commission with so many instruments and gadget and press conference and so many lies and compromises that we saw in 2019 and 2023 election. So if you look at democracy in Africa, it's going down. Count how many countries that had a coup, a military intervention. You see, it's all about election. If you take Cote d'Ivoire, look at what happened in Cote d'Ivoire between Alhassan Ouattara and Laurent Gbagbo. Somebody won, somebody refused to accept. You understand? And that's what brought the crisis. Eventually, the entire civil war before the intervention of international community and arrested Laurent Gbagbo. If you look at Sudan, it's the same thing. If you look at Burkina Faso, if you look at, so we have to be very careful, very, very careful about our democracy. Let us consolidate our democracy through the laws of our land and through our own understanding of democracy.
But a lot of people that have spoken on democracy since after our elections have always been of the opinion that we are heading in the right direction because we are not where we used to be. Are you of that same opinion?
Yeah, in development and developmental theories, you understand, we always developed. But how do we develop? Okay. Positively or negatively? But in the case of INEC Commissioner in charge of Professor Mahmoud, I think it's negative. That's my own understanding.
Okay.
All right. So let's move on to the question I had asked earlier. The petitions that are starting on Monday, and inauguration that is coming up on 29th of this month. That's like 27 days away.
Yes.
So do you think there'll be tables shaking as Atiku's PDP Atiku is saying that they're saying Atiku would emerge victorious? So are there things to expect from this petition, or should we just believe that maybe nothing interesting may come up?
Yeah, media aides can say anything.
The legal teams have been speaking to.
Even the legal team can say so many things. But the area of contention in that in their petition, one where they are hitting, the first one they are hitting is 25%
in the FCT.
In the FCT, which was covered by the Constitution of Nigeria, because the Constitution said you must have 25% in the Federal Capital Territory. The Federal Capital Territory is considered as a state, but has no status
of a state.
So the president is the governor general of FCT. In FCT is the president. He appoints minister to supervise on his behalf. That is why anything the minister will run to the president. Any matter about Even FCT, because they don't have state assemblies. You understand?
Well.
It's the National Assembly that they call it bylaws. They did bylaws for them in order for the federal capital to develop. You understand? So in that case, the constitution is saying if you are going to be a president and a governor of FCT, you must win FCT with 25%. And it's Labour Party that got more than 25%. APC and PDP, all of them did not got the 25%. That's I think their first hit in their own petition. The second one, whether it's true, whether it's an allegation, you understand, as alleged that Tinubu has dual citizenship, Nigeria and Guinea. They are hitting from that side too. From the election matters, Kumar, that's the competence of the to stand the election. You understand? To win election. Then there is a matter of the Vivas, RFs,
yes,
and the result tabulated from polling unit. What they have in the polling unit is different from what is being uploaded. So there is a discrepancies in that area. That's where they are also hitting. So the other charges, I think, is just politically motivated, and if the judges will be fair, they can stroke out some, and they will attend to some. But there were so many concerns that even both APC and PDP are saying that there is issue of manipulation, intimidation, harassment, and inducing the judges by both the opposition and the ruling party.
All right, we'll have a caller on the line. Let's take this call before we continue our conversation. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Good morning. Hello, good morning. We can hear you. All right. Well,
I think he's listening to his TV set before he responds.
Those are the areas I think they will look at it, and the government should not interfere as judiciary, an independent institution, and also tribunal, election petition tribunal, supposed to also remove or separate itself from any political affairs in the judiciary, or though they also is just like the first caller was saying that the nomination of the INEC chairman, and we call it Independent National Electoral Commission. There is nothing independent in that. You understand?
Yes.
So we need to see the election petition tribunal also act independently. We have seen election. Look at in the case of Osun State. In Osun State, the lower court, the lower tribunal declared Oyetola winner. You understand?
Very well.
And the appeal court now say no, declared Adeleke winner. And what happened is the council vote. You understand? And what is being uploaded? What is being uploaded from the polling unit is the authentic result. You understand?
Yes.
So the result that You went and brought from nowhere and said it was council vote. They should add the rejected vote should be added as a valid vote. Then you are looking for something else. So you are looking for trouble. So the election petition tribunal should distance itself from some of the petition tribunals. They are even afraid to sit in their state. They come to Abuja.
Okay.
You see where the intimidation and harassment and threat are coming from.
True.
That's what the opposition is alleging. You understand?
Yeah.
Then I don't know from the Labour Party their own charges, whether they say they won the election as they used to say. You understand? They believe that they won the election. Labour Party
Apparently all the parties believe they won the election.
They won the election.
Yes.
You understand? So is now that INEC has declared a winner emerged from INEC. Now maybe another winner
will emerge from the tribunal
in the court. That's answer
my question.
Yeah, whether it will be Omar the.
All right.
But honestly, we need to amend our laws that after election, a president elect will not be inaugurated until
after tribunals.
After the tribunal.
All right, we'll get back to that conversation. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Sorry, I have to call back again. This is the call for Abuja.
Okay.
Yes, concerning the 2023 general elections, you know, the only people, the only hope to our democracy in Nigeria now is the judiciary. If they can rewrite their names in the golden book of history, that will be able to speak life for them in these 2023 general elections. There are a lot of things that this 2020 general election carried along with. If you look at what is going on in Sudan now, has happened in several times here in Nigeria, but Nigeria is still peaceful. And we are still believing God that God will never allow us to witness anything of such in this country. So I am still looking up to the judiciary that they could be bold enough to rewrite the name and to put the democracy in this country in the right perspective. If they fail, then people will now begin to lose confidence in them. Whereby people say, you lose, go to court. And you go to court, the justice will not be prevailed. Whoever now comes into the power before the swearing in, so after the process of the judiciary, and everything go to its own favor, that will lead us to the anarchy. And I'm also looking at it in another way that I think the best thing is that whoever that wins the election will have been hold on until the cases in the judiciary decide before swearing in. That is the way I'm looking at it. You don't swear in somebody who is also sitting on top of a case. It looks something is wrong somewhere. But I'm just looking forward that the judiciary should be able to live up to their expectations. If they can be guided by the constitutions and work strongly with the constitution, our constitution is in order. But the implementation of our constitution is our problem. The compromise of our constitution is our problem. So if you can have people who can stand boldly never to compromise on the constitution of this country, I think Nigeria is heading somewhere better.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you. I think this call is actually hitting on where you landed the statement earlier, talking about amending the constitution.
And my thought is, so if we are waiting for the president-elect to be sworn in after a tribunal, which we don't know how long that will take, so what happens in between?
No, there is a time limit now.
Okay.
All cases should be dispensed. I think 6 months before after swearing in. Now there is a timeline of if it is presidential from appeal court to Supreme Court, there is a timeline. The governorship also has timeline. So the issue is like he raised, the judiciary is the last hope of a common man in everywhere in the world. But in Nigeria, the difference is our judiciary is not our last hope. Today, they will give us what we want. Tomorrow, they will go the other way. And if you complain, they will say, when you got the judgment, you said it's a victory of democracy. When you lose, you say the judiciary has been compromised. You understand?
Very well.
So they serve left and right.
All right, so I have a call on the line. Let's take more calls before we change this conversation.
Hello,
good morning.
I'm calling back again from Sokoto, Amalaba.
Okay, please go ahead.
I want to quickly contribute on the issue of this presidential or president-elect or whatever you want to call it. I don't understand it very well. The thing is just that when we have been discussing it, you can see I've been asking questions all this while. Since the president-elect has been announced as the winner of the election, what has been the reaction of people in the town? So what I have been saying to people is that Mahmoud Yakub, the next chairman, is only in the footage to amend Ashwadi Bola Tinubu, and it's only his will that has prevailed now, as you can see it on the face of everybody. Let us call a spade because this country, if you don't want what happens to that to repeat itself in Nigeria, let us speak up and say the truth.
All right, thank you.
God will help us.
Thank you so much.
Let them do the right thing, because the youth are waiting.
All right, like I asked, so you said there's a time frame now, something around 6 months. So from the time when the president is supposed to step out of office to the 6 months, what happens in between? Is the president supposed to remain in office till after the tribunal, then he hands over? Because it's going to be a long wait. So that's why I'm asking this question. So what happens? Yeah,
you see, the law says if election is being nullified, you understand, or a candidate is being disqualified, he has opportunity to appeal. You understand?
Very well.
After appeal, if he lost, then he must step aside. You understand? If the judgment favors one of the contenders, then he will step in and he will be sworn in. But if it's a matter of cancellation of the election, in some areas, election must be repeated. You understand? So that's how it is. But like the other brother said, you know, we pray, inshallah, Nigeria will progress. We'll come out of this quagmire they put us inside. But honestly, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu have a lot of allegation against him. Whether they are true, whether they are wrong, he needs to step aside to submit himself for scrutiny. You understand?
Very well.
So that things will be cleared.
All right.
But as he presides as a chairman of the commission, and also is the one that will defend his commission in the court for what they have done, I don't think justice will, though let me not preempt the judges,
of course.
but I know there will be a lot of manipulation in that regard.
All right. You think, though, you can't speak. Yes, you can't be certain. All right. Let's quickly take this one. It says 10th NAS, PDP LP orders split over APC zoning plan. Now, talking about the 10th National Assembly.
Yes.
Especially the Senate seats now.
Yes.
So,
Okay, continue. Finish
So what do you think of the zoning plan, if there's going to even be zoning plan, or the people, the contenders, the 9 contenders? Do you think who do you think, or who are you thinking will probably take the spot? Is it going to, and on what basis besides zoning? Is it probably going to be based on the zone that actually, you know, contributed the most to the election, or the zone that is actually being marginalized, or based on just capacity of the candidates?
Yeah, you see, in democracy, there is what you call fairness and justice.
Okay.
Equity, fairness, and justice. Now, in zoning, it's also equity and fairness and justice. That's what brought zoning in Nigerian context.
Okay.
You understand?
Very well.
Secondly, in a federal character principle, you understand, is also equity, fairness, and justice. So I don't see any controversy in this matter. Let the party set and zone these positions, and these positions are very clear. If a president emerges from Southwest, definitely the Senate president will come from the Southeast or South-South. You understand? The deputy Senate president will come from the North Central. The majority leader, the majority leader of the Senate will also come maybe from Northeast. Then the speakership up to the whip. You understand? Now, in a speakership is going to the Northwest. Then the deputy speaker will come from the Northeast. You balance it. It's very simple and clear. There is no any controversy. But those ambitious politicians who claim to be godfathers wanted to hijack and put their own muscles to break anybody who want to come in between them. If you listen to Senator Musa Isa from Niger State, very outstanding senator, very articulated, very upright man, but look at what he is saying. You understand? He's saying that since the North has gave Tinubu more vote, they should take the Senate president. Look at Amela. The vice president is from Northeast, and Amela is from Northeast. Now, in Southeast and South, before, when Buhari was a president, they said, the Southeast doesn't have APC senator. Now they have APC senators, ranking senators. They have Ojo Zokalu, Osinachi, and who again? And if you go to the south, they have Akpabio as a ranking senator.
And they are also contenders for the seat.
Yes. So, and they now shift. They want to push blame, or they want to reduce another zone, saying that no, the Southeast gave Tinubu little vote, while the South gave more vote than the Southeast. That is why I said they don't have to confuse themselves. Let the parties start and decide where these positions are going. You understand? If you come to the speakership, those who are contending, Honorable Betara, he is from Borno State, from the same constituency with the vice president, and he is aspiring to be the speaker. just imagine, in the Northwest, Sokoto has done speaker. Katsina has done speaker. Kano has had a speaker. You understand? So Jigawa is saying that, okay, now is our turn. We contributed more. You understand?
Elections,
and the front runner in the speakership is Maki Abubakar Elema, who is also a very good, outstanding lawmaker. You understand?
Yeah.
Who understands the rules of the house, the engagement, and so on, and you understand, and the man with integrity. You understand? But from what we are seeing, this crisis will consume so many of them. But hopefully, in the speakership, I think the veteran will have a wisdom to step aside and allow. And even the deputy speaker is also from Wasi, who come from Plateau State. We all know the role Wasi played as a deputy speaker.
Right.
Even abused Nigerians. Abroad.
I think it's safe to say that periods are not over yet. We still have a long way to go in all of this. We have the tribunal and it's a long way, long journey from now.
Yes, the permutations is.
We have to see good results from that.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much for watching The Press today, and that was our conversation with Habib Gajo. Till we come your way tomorrow, I am Sandra Ago.
And I am Olamide Alhassan. Do enjoy the rest of your day.